Okay, we're back on.
Okay. Oh, you know, it's like research. It always pays off, even if you misunderstood and you learned the wrong thing. No, really, it's very important. It gives you your base. It's like a part of the craft to learn as much as you can about what those people do, who they are, and oh, excuse me. Anyway, that was a big payoff, and I felt so good about playing that role in it, because I felt those things about the character, you know.
I also wanted to ask you about being on Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury. Can you talk a little about that?
Well, Angie is one of the two fan letters I've ever written in my life. The other one was to Robert Mitchum. Well, I guess kind of working with her is coming full circle for me. That was my feeling, to be in her presence as a colleague and working with her. When she was doing Mame on Broadway, I was rehearsing Agnes Gooch for the tour. And Gene Sachs told us that we could just let ourselves into the Winter Garden anytime we wanted, to reinforce the blocking. The staging pretty much stays the same, and it's good for you to reinforce it after rehearsing to see, oh right, I exit stage left there, or whatever. And I loved the show, so I would go quite often, and I would leave never seeing what I went to see, because Angela was just so overwhelming. She was just so dazzling and so brilliant in this role. And I also would see her at different times. Tuesday night is a tough night to get everything back up to volume, or in inner volume. You know, you've had this nice long weekend and you have to really push it up there. And matinees, you're working double time, so evenings you have to do the same kind of push because you've done a lot of work. And when I wrote to her, I tried to say that in my fan note, that she had no lows. There was no evidence of fatigue or that. She was so amazing, and she did everything. Mame does everything. I subsequently became Mame, which gave me an even deeper respect for the demands of this role, and she just never let up. She was just dazzling. So I had to sit down and say, this is what happened to me, and I just think you are amazing. Years later, when we met at a CBS function, I said, you probably won't remember this, but when I was in New York, she said, I don't think I got further than that, she said, I still have that letter. I was just so, I was just so amazed. It was just, but anyway, that's so to do A Murder, She Wrote with Angela was just so wonderful, just so wonderful. She's the best. She's really, I've loved everything she's ever done. And I have a video of The Manchurian Candidate, and when you realize that she was about 2 years older than Lawrence Harvey, and she was there playing his mother, and you know, I just, I have the picture of Dorian Gray, this terribly teenage-ish young Angela singing beautifully and playing that role. I just adore her. Just really, she's the best.
Okay, I have a couple of summing up questions. The first one I'd like to ask is, What in your career is your proudest achievement?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. No. Maybe that's still coming. Oh, my. You know, nominations and awards are great. It's like a whole body of people saying, well done, you know. I really don't know. I felt, when I joked about being on the unemployment line, I felt becoming an actress for me, leaving the environment that spawned me, I thought that was an incredible achievement, because I think it took enormous courage that I didn't know I had. But I guess, you know, when you have a fire in your belly and you're so motivated, you don't think about it's being brave, or you just do it. But I thought that was an achievement for me. I don't know. That's a question to spring on me that I'd really have to give some thought to, because I think just being an actor and being allowed to work in my profession is an achievement of sorts, if that makes sense. Just to be able to show up there and be there and do it is an achievement.
Okay. What advice would you give to an aspiring actor?
No. Think about it. Think about it long and hard. What I've always said at Gene's seminars, unless you cannot live, and I mean that, unless you really cannot live without doing this, don't. If this is the third time I'm saying a fire in your belly, but if you are so motivated by that, if you must emote, express in some artistic fashion in any of the arts or in any form or whatever, then you will do it, and you don't need my advice or anybody's advice. I once asked a nun in my high school for some direction and advice. I seldom confided in anyone about what my aspirations were, because I thought they sounded too heady, too, you know, and I wasn't that. So, but I did one day take courage and ask her, and she said she had a niece in the profession and she would research it and get back to me. And she finally did, and she said, I talked to my niece and she said the profession is really overcrowded and you should really think about something else. And I thought, this is advice? And I never asked for advice again. And I don't know whether I subconsciously realized that you don't ask for advice, you just go for it. You know, if you're asking for advice, maybe you're looking for reassurance or something, that's probably not a good sign. You just go, you do everything you can to make it happen, to bring it about. You go to class, you find what school helps you function best, teaches you a craft, makes you secure, and then you go out and you try to get what you want to do. You try to do it. But you do that without anybody's advice. And I don't mean without anybody's help. You can always ask for that. But you just do it. That would be my advice. It's like having no plan B. You have no alternative. It's something you must do. And most actors, I think, if they thought that out, would say, but it never occurred to me to do anything else. I just went for it. And they live in 6th floor walk-ups with a pet rat in the building and stuff. You do it because that's what you do.
Okay, the last question I have for you is, how would you like to be remembered?
Let's see. As probably as a good actress who took who kind of used the profession to enlighten, not only to entertain, but to enlighten and to I guess to further her humanitarian efforts, which has always been in the humane community. I will do, you know, a discovery series like Those Incredible Animals. It was a large part of my thrust in charities has been in that arena, and to take, I think, remembered that I tried to take the visibility and use it to help others, and to yeah, I guess that to take that power, however limited it is or unlimited, and use it for good, you know, and whether it's civic or but yeah, I guess that if that's not too diluted, I am an actress. That's how I think of myself, as that's being my primary career, or an artist. I would think of myself, I would hope to be remembered as an artist who tried to use parts of her profession to further other arenas that were positive, that would be helpful, and you know, like whether it's creating a good role model. It's very satisfying for me to have nurses tell me that they became nurses because of watching me, and that's a very, very great compliment and a very wonderful thing to have done while I was having so much fun within my profession and within my choice as my life.
Okay, well, for the Archive of American Television, thank you very much for
Thank
spending
you.
this time with us.
Thank you. It was fun.